What is up, everybody? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, I want to talk to you all about Wicked for Good. I saw the movie this past weekend. It's been a busy week, so I haven't been able, to sit down and express my thoughts on a video. That's what I want to do now. This will not be a long video at all. I put up a brief summary of my thoughts on the film overall. I put it up last Friday after I saw the film. I said like the musical score, the string sections and all of that good stuff. I gave that a 10 out of 10. The musician in me, I really love that. The musical numbers, I gave those a 7 out of 10. I think that in part one, the songs were better. The songs were better in part one. These songs were not, I didn't hate them, but in part one, I just connected a lot more to them. But the songs in part two, it was a few numbers that hit hard. It was a few numbers that hit hard, but just not as hard as in part one. Like, hey, sue me if you want to. Maybe some of you all agree with me. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Acting performances, all in all, 10 out of 10. Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, come on, Jonathan Bailey, bro. Like, can we talk about Ethan's performance as the Tin Man? Oh my God, like he killed that. Did y'all see the look that he gave Glinda? Did you see that? I love this interpretation of Tin Man, and people need to put respect on Ethan Slater's name as an actor. He's more than just SpongeBob. A lot of people will know that if they watch not the boys, if they watched Gen V this past season. He's more than just SpongeBob, and he's been proving himself over and over again. And this role just cemented that even more. Phenomenal singer, phenomenal performer, killed this. All in all, I give the movie all in all a 7.5 out of 10. That may seem harsh, but let me explain why. First things first, I know I missed this. If you're new here, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're returning, do the same thing. I cover movies here. I am a critic with the African American Film Critic Association as well as the Hollywood Critics Association. So yeah, I take what I do very, very seriously. So with that being out the way, this film at times felt rushed to me. Part one, it felt more flushed out. I understand that people say part two of the actual stage play, the actual Broadway musical, they say it's weaker than part one. I can understand that to a certain extent, but I can appreciate the fact that they did add certain elements to the film that is not in the stage play. I can understand that. Like I said, these performances were amazing, and those added little bits that were not in the original stage play, you can tell they fleshed out the story even more. They added more depth to it. That being said, I felt like some parts were being rushed. I felt like you rushed through certain elements. I felt as if things were cut out. Just structure wise, this film wasn't as strong to me. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't as strong to part one. And I hate that I walked out the film feeling that way. But I can say, when we got to the final credits, when we got to that final number, and trust me, that number for good, like between Ariana Grande and Cynthia, between those two just belting out those notes, oh my God, like that number in itself, it hits you in the feels, because it's about two friends appreciating the fact that they have been indeed changed for the better because they met each other. They have been changed for the better. That might be on the nose because those are the words of the song, but honestly, it hit home. Listening to them and seeing what was happening on screen with Elphaba leaving with Fiyero, and just leaving behind Oz and leaving all that behind, having them think that she's dead, having Glinda think that she's dead. Those final moments getting to the end of this film, I literally stood in the theater after, like, listening to watching the credits roll. I'm like, dang, like, this adventure with these characters is really over. That may seem silly for me to say because we get films that are like just one and dones and you just walk away. But this really, you felt the finality of it all, if you get what I'm saying. Like, this is the last time potentially that we will see these actors in these roles. And it has been a roller coaster ride because part one came out this time last year. And for me personally, I was never a fan of the Wicked Broadway musical. I never thought about Wicked. I just heard good things about the film, and me being a film guy, I'm like, hey, come on, babe, talking to my wife, hey, come on, let's go check this movie out. Let's have a date night. We went in the movie, we loved it immediately. So this has been a journey in and of itself with me as well, because I did a deep dive on all this stuff, did a deep dive on all these characters. Yes, I heard The Wizard of Oz. Yes, I know that this is basically fanfic, the same thing with The Wiz and all of that other stuff. But I did a deep dive on this, and I learned the different characters' fates and all of that stuff, because I like to be as knowledgeable as possible when talking about something. Now, talking about certain characters' fates, I can tell you right now, I put up a video on this. Like, the people that irritated me the most was Tin Man, Bach, the Cowardly Lion, Coleman Domingo. You did an amazing job with the little that they gave you in this film. I don't think that I mean, cool, you took the role. You probably got paid a butt ton of money. Like for you probably got a decent bag off of this, but it didn't have to be Coleman Domingo as the Cowardly Lion. But yeah, Cowardly Lion, like, you pissed me off. Your reasoning for hating Elphaba is because she freed you from your cage and you learned how to speak. Bro, she was trying to help you because you were in fact a coward. You are still a coward. You're mad because she didn't let you fight your own battles. You could have fought your own battles being free out of that cage. But hey, think what you want to think. You couldn't even say that for yourself. Tin Man had to tell the people. Secondly, Tin Man, you knew that it was Nessa that, cast that spell, was saying all that gibberish, which caused your heart to shrink. She was literally holding you hostage. But yet you still decided to channel all that anger towards Elphaba, because Nessa said it was Elphaba that did it. Elphaba literally saved you. She turned you into something that could survive without a heart. In all actuality, you would and should be dead. But no, you want to be salty and be mad at Elphaba. She didn't do nothing but try to help you, dog. Like, this whole thing, this whole world is basically manipulation. It's literally manipulative tactics. It shows how, like, we saw Madame Warble, like, change the writing in the sky that Elphaba put up about the wizard and how he was a fraud and everything. And Glinda is literally just their little propaganda mouse. Like, she's just there. She has to do what she's told, and she doesn't really have much of a backbone. I'm glad towards the end of the film she decides to fight back against what they were trying to do, because at the end of the day, Elphaba is her best friend. Like, watching that relationship develop in the first movie was one of my highlights. And yeah, I'm glad that they fixed that. Next up on my hit list, Nessa Rose. You've been on my hit list since the first movie. You really have. You've been on my hit list since the first movie. But in this one, you really... Wicked Witch of the East, when that house dropped on you, I did not feel bad. I ain't gonna lie. I did not feel bad at all. I felt nothing. I kind of chuckled a little bit. You had it going. You had it coming, I should say. Like, that was funny. Seeing the stuff with Dorothy and seeing it from her perspective, like certain things, like we see all the memes, the fact that Dorothy was in the cellar while Elphaba and Glinda were out there singing their hearts out to each other. She's just in the cellar chilling. Like, that was funny. It was good to see. I understand. Like, I see people complain, like, why didn't we see Dorothy? The story's not about her. It's the same way in the musical. We only see shadows in the musical, apparently. So that complaint is dumb. That complaint is really, really, really dumb. But all in all, the film is good. It's not a terrible film. The film is good. I just feel as if it faltered in the storytelling aspect just a little bit, but that's my own personal opinion. I still had a really good time with this film. I am indeed sad that we're done with these characters, like with these actors in these roles. Like, maybe something will happen, they'll be able to come back, but like this really felt final. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Remember to become a channel member today. Like, share, and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you all in the next video.